Thank you for watching another Inside Tennessee Insider Report. I'm Gabby Santa here with Danny Parker out on Haslam practice field. The Vols have just completed practice number 3 of camp, adding shoulder pads to the mix. We got to speak with some of the players after practice. One of the players who had a lot of good things said about him was John Kelly, and I know you spoke to Marquez Callaway. He had a lot of great things to say. What did you hear about John Kelly from Marquez?
Yeah, Marquez as well as several other players have talked several times now about John Kelly developing as a leader. And on top of that, I think a lot of the guys are rooting for John Kelly. They admire the way he practices, how hard he works out, how hard he runs the football in games. And I think he's kind of created a little bit of a fanfare amongst his own teammates, which you don't see that a whole lot. But, you know, anytime you're running back and you want guys to open up holes for you, that little bit of extra energy out of the offensive line, if they really care about you, that means a little bit more. But I think he's going to develop into a leadership role here. Like Butch Jones said earlier this summer, there won't be permanent captains this season like we saw the last couple of years, but all 4 of those captains are gone now. I think those will kind of switch in and out week to week depending on the game and how the team's looking that week. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if John Kelly was the captain at some point this season, maybe multiple weeks.
And while we're on the topic of offense, one of the players who everyone is excited to see is Trey Smith. You spoke with Butch Jones after practice. What did Butch Jones have to say about Trey Smith's development so far in training camp?
Kind of similar wording to Preston Williams, Khalil McKenzie, other guys we've seen come in as 5-star prospects. You know, a lot of people put into that, put a lot of thought in that sort of thing, put a lot of expectations on those young men. You know, it's part of our business as a recruiting service to star rank a kid. Sometimes it does put too much pressure on them, and I hate it for that aspect of it. But Trey comes in with 5 stars, a lot of expectations. Some people think he's going to play tackle, left tackle, slide right in right away. I don't think he's going to play tackle here. I think he's mostly going to be an offensive guard, depending on how his body changes. Maybe he could slide back out to tackle somewhere later in his career. But right now it's probably going to be offensive guard, most likely right guard if I had to guess, but he could swing to both sides, depending on whether or not Ja'Shawn Robertson this year is going to play center or not. He's in that competition with Coleman Thomas. But no, Trey's going to be a tough guy to keep off the field. You know, you look at him, I think he was, at least as far as the spring was concerned, was the youngest football player on the team. Didn't turn 18 years old till this summer, so you kind of keep that in the back of your mind a little bit when you're lumping expectations on that young man. But I hate to say he's a can't-miss prospect. His offensive line is tough to kind of project a little bit, especially a guy who hadn't played 1 snap of college football yet. But you shake his hand, you watch him practice. There's a lot of brute strength there, which is very odd for a freshman offensive lineman. But he's going to be in that mix. But, you know, like Butch Jones is just kind of saying, you just pump the brakes a little bit, lower the expectations.
Well, he certainly does not look like a freshman. Lastly, we spoke the other day about the positions that are opening up for some of the younger guys, but another position that's opening up is punt returner. We spoke with Butch after practice about that. What did he have to say about that position opening up, guys who are stepping up in that role?
Yeah, punt returner, we saw Cameron Sutton go down with an injury last year. Alvin Kamara went down with an injury against Alabama. So we saw some other guys get into the mix. Marquez Callaway, Josh Smith. Both those guys are back this year. Both of them are getting reps at that position right now. Theo Jackson is a freshman that Butch Jones mentioned. Looks pretty natural catching the football to me, a guy from Nashville, from Overton High School. So he'll be in that mix. If I had to guess right now, it'll probably be Josh Smith because they just feel safer with him catching the football. But we've seen Marquez Callaway make a lot of plays. I think he had a punt return for a touchdown against Tennessee Tech last November. So he's going to be a tough guy to keep off the field as well, but a nice problem for Tennessee to have going into the season.
Thank you very much, Danny, and thank you all for watching. We'll have more practice coverage after Friday's practice. For Danny Parker, I'm Gabby Santa.